Hey, yeah, you want that fresh fruit. Straight from Florida, just head down to the I-4 corridor, farm to table, horticultural, panhandle, timber, peanut, functional, aquaculture, blueberries, strawberries, ornamentals. Wait, and the hemp industrials. Fresh from Florida crops, fresh from Florida crops, fresh from Florida crops, fresh from Florida crops. Picking oranges, citrus, super fresh from Florida. Honey bees ruling, straight from coast to coast. Cross pollinators, they're better than most. Farmers markets, Florida, state fairs and festivals. Gotta have your fresh from Florida fruits and vegetables. Fresh from Florida crops, fresh from Florida crops, fresh from Florida crops, fresh from Florida crops.
So Nikki, tell me a little bit about your role as commissioner and why being a part of the Taste of the NFL is something that you felt was important to what you're doing in the state.
And this is something that has been a pivotal part of my entire commissioner responsibilities, is targeting a lot of our youth in regards to food insecurity. We have 1 in 4 of our children in the United States are food insecure. And unfortunately, Florida is one of the largest, if not the largest, in the entire country. And we know that our children can't succeed. They can't be productive in the school system. They can't be productive members of our society without having fresh, healthy, and nutritional food.
Well, you know, amen to all the work you're doing, because I think a lot of folks don't necessarily know what your role is as commissioner in the state, and particularly at a moment like this, because we're here coming together on this Super Bowl Sunday for this Taste of the NFL live virtual experience. But for so many, all we've heard is in the news what's happening in Florida, but you've been living it day to day. You see the impact on the kids. Talk to us about what that means in terms of the importance of those meals in the school building, the school nutrition professionals who are truly the frontline workers feeding our nation's kids. Give us a sense of what it's been like for you on the ground.
In one respect, it's been hard to watch. We know that unfortunately, so many parents who've lost their jobs and are needing a little bit extra help, and that trickles down to their kids. And so while we know that typically speaking, we've got 3 million people in the state of Florida that are food insecure, and typically it was 850,000 of our kids, we know that that has unfortunately skyrocketed during this pandemic. But we also saw everybody in our state step up to the plate, from our school districts, who we worked with immediately once we heard that schools were going to be closed, to get their summer break spots programs up and running and make sure that not a single child during COVID was going to go hungry. And we've really been very instrumental every step along the way. So our school district stepped up, our food bank stepped up. We oversee the entire program, and that's about a $1.3 billion industry. And we serve about 286 million meals every single year to roughly about 3 million of our kids, and those that are on free and reduced meals. The fact is that so many of our kids come to school and that's the only meal that they have access to. When they come home, even it's processed food or it's frozen food. So being able to have partnerships across the entire state and with our school districts to really step up these programs and to make sure that we are providing this nutritional benefit to our kids, it has been paramount. And unfortunately, we also seeing, a lot of our Black and Hispanic families suffer food insecurity worse and almost double the rate of so many of our white households here in the state. So we have programs also, our Farm to School program, which connects our local farmers with K through 12 kids into those programs, which creates $144 million of economic impact here into our state. So this really is a partnership. So I think the silver lining in some of this pandemic is that more and more people are buying local, are getting involved in the local agriculture industry, are wanting to buy fresh from Florida produce and Florida grown produce in the food stores, and being able to link that with our children and showing them how important it is to eat nutritional meals has been a staple of my administration.
Well, listen, we work with America's dairy farmers right there in your backyard. We have seen what farmers have done to support our kids. It's been simply nothing short of remarkable. I am so grateful to you, to all that you represent and what you've been able to do. As we look ahead at this challenging moment in time, I'm sure you've seen just moments of hope, moments of inspiration. Can you share some of that with us as we close out and kick off what is about to be our Taste of the NFL live broadcast experience right outside of Raymond James Stadium?
Absolutely. And, I see inspiration every single day, talking to our farmers who we suffered a $500 million deficit last year because of the closing of so many of our all of our food service industries, between our restaurants, our schools, our theme parks, our cruise line industry. But what agriculture did is they recognized that they have a responsibility to still feed our families. So they all donated a significant amount of food to our schools, to our food banks. And it really became a community involvement that people wanted to be involved, people wanted to be engaged. And so what I've said, that there's a consumer conscious awakening that has even happened during this pandemic, that more and more people are wanting to get their fresh produce from their local farmers and teach the next generation how to farm.
Help tackle food insecurity in schools by supporting Gen Youth.
With thought leader support, we identified really core needs and developed 6 pillars to address those needs. Those pillars are early learning, food insecurity, families, health and wellness, sustainability, and systemic justice.
We are so honored and excited to be partnering with the Tampa Bay Super Bowl Host Committee. This effort to support our local communities is so integral to the work we do with the Super Bowl Host Committees. For us, it is our 6th year working hand in glove in the community. And this year we're tackling, once again, the dire need around food insecurity. We're going to be delivering 55 grab-and-go breakfast carts as a part of the Fuel initiative of the Forever 55 campaign on behalf of the Tampa Bay Super Bowl Host Committee. That is going to provide 5.5 million additional breakfasts for food insecure youth right there in Hillsborough, Pasco, and Pinellas County.
The support of Gen Youth and other organizations such as Gen Youth is absolutely crucial. They really have the specialized ability and knowledge to focus on and promote the things that we as farmers and packagers might not know how to do. We've got a nutritious, delicious product here, but we really rely on Gen Youth for that specialized knowledge on how to best reach the students that we're trying to reach.
The most important meal for me was breakfast, because breakfast prepared me for my day. Breakfast gave me the nutrients, the carbs, and everything I needed to fuel me to be successful.
The pandemic has had a huge impact on food insecurity. As a result of what we're witnessing right now, as many as 1 in 4 kids do not know where they're going to get their next meal, and in some cases that is 1 in 3. The key is that the role that school buildings play in feeding kids is truly a lifeline. And so the work we're doing together with the Tampa Bay Super Bowl host committee by providing these breakfast carts will ensure that each of these kids, when they enter into the school building, get access to a healthy breakfast to fuel them up for learning. And if they're in a distance learning scenario, that we get those meals out to them in the community so that we ensure academic success, health, and well-being, and together we can truly fuel them for success.
Times have been tough.
But guess what? I think we're tougher.
That's right. Across the U.S., folks are finding ways to feel good when it comes to their minds, bodies, and communities. Here's how you can too.
Step 1, get moving. 60 minutes of exercise a day helps your body and your mind.
That's right. Step 2, eat well. Nutritious foods like dairy give you the energy you need.
Good call. How about step 3, help others? There are lots of ways to stay safe and fuel good. For more on how you can feel good and fuel good, go to fueluptoplay60.com.
Oh, well, Nikki, I cannot thank you enough. I'm so excited. You know, I've got 4 kids, and let me tell you, those, Florida Fresh oranges, there's just nothing better. Thank you for all that you do in the agricultural world, all that you do to support the farmers, to support our kids. They fill my heart with so much hope because it truly does take a village. 1 + 1 + 1 is far greater than 3. No one of us can do this alone. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for participating in this first ever Taste of the NFL live virtual experience. And now let's go have some fun because it's called Super Bowl Sunday.
Love it.
Help tackle food insecurity in schools by supporting Gen Youth. To donate, visit genyouthnow.org.
Super Bowl 55 is almost here.
Super Bowl 55 is right around the corner.
Millions will tune in for the big game.
It's almost game time here in Tampa Bay.
Here's the deal. Today we are talking about Taste of the NFL.
The culinary experience, which was created to raise awareness to end hunger.
Tell me a little bit about the Taste of the NFL and what you stand for, what it's all about.
Well, as you rightly point out, Taste of the NFL at home is literally at home. It is a live virtual game day experience, never been done before in Super Bowl history.
To help tackle childhood hunger, Taste of the NFL is going virtual this year.
So Alexis, let me begin with you. Even with the virtual aspect of this, what are your goals this year? How will you continue on with this?
For us, this was always plan A. It was never plan B. Not only will you get to cook with some of the greatest chefs, I asked Clarissa if she would sit down in an exclusive interview with James J.B. Brown, Peyton Manning, and Derek Jeter.
I'm just kind of like, even though, I'm on this panel and I'm the only woman, they're like, giving me praises and like, we watch you box, you're the GOAT. And I'm like, Peyton Manning just told me to go.
100% of the proceeds go to Gen Youth. And Gen Youth has been doing this work for so many years.
This is such a great way to raise awareness for such an incredibly worthy cause.
It's all about taking care of these kids.
And this is all to help tackle childhood hunger.
All the proceeds from those ticket sales are going to support the emergency delivery of meals to kids who are battling hunger right now.
It's amazing what you guys do there at Gen Youth, helping students who need your help.
Along with that, I'm doing a little Bush's Beans bean dip.
I'm using Ocean Spray craisins in place of the raisins.
So I got some Tostitos.
I'll have my glass of milk in hand, ready to go. Your amazing recipe.
Yes, you definitely need some milk for this recipe.
And oh, by the way, if you're among the first 5,000 ticket holders, you get this insane game day box from our partners at PepsiCo with a game day program and all these other goodies.
For those of us who are able to celebrate with food on that day, we have to do something for those that can't.